I the asshole for telling my wife she has no say in the way I bond with my son and also calling her homophobe? When I am 37 was 17 I got my then girlfriend F16 pregnant with twin boys. Her parents didn't want the babies to ruin her future, so they said that I had to either take them or give them up for adoption because she was not raising them. I wanted to give them up, but my parents told me not to. For the first 7 years of my boys' lives, I didn't act like a father and was more like a big brother. They knew I was their father though, but we never bonded like father-sons. When I was ready to move out, I wanted to do it without them, but my dad let me know it was my responsibility, so I had to take them. I didn't want it at first, but I'm glad it happened. We started bonding as father-sons. I started loving them and their love for me increased. I remember the three of us would sit on the couch to watch movies. One would sit on my left and one on my right while I wrapped my arms around them. They'd put their heads on my chest and I often kissed their forehead. We've been doing this since they were 7. I met my current wife 5 years ago, when my kids were 15. We married 3 years ago after we welcomed our daughter F4. She saw me doing this with my kids when we watched movies and she never said anything. My kids are no longer living with us because they left for college, but they come to see me every now and then. My boys are 20 now, but they still like to put their heads on my chest while I wrap my arms around them. They do it every time they visit and I'm watching TV. My son, Liam, visited me 2 weeks ago. He came out to me as gay and introduced me to his boyfriend. I don't care how my kids live their sexuality or who they love. I love them no matter what. I just want them to be happy and I don't feel any different. And it doesn't make me feel uncomfortable to hug him or kiss his forehead. But it seems that my wife is a little uncomfortable. My son visited me again last Wednesday. I was watching Red with my daughter, she was on my left, then my son Liam arrived. He was tired and sat on my right, put his head on my shoulder while I wrapped my arm around him, then I kissed his forehead and said, "Good to have you back, buddy." We went to sleep and the next day my wife told me that it made her feel uncomfortable me hugging and kissing my son and asked me not to do it again while she doesn't mind me doing it with Lucas, my other son, who's straight. She doesn't want me to do it with Liam. I told her that she has no business being in my relationship with my sons. I also called her homophobic. She accused me of not treating her like an equal parent to my sons, thus I said, "That's okay because you are not." My brother says I should understand because this is a big change for her, but I seriously think there is nothing to get used to. This isn't neither her nor my problem who my son loves. Am I in the wrong? Update. So, it's been a while and I've been getting some great support messages that I really appreciate. I wish I could reply every comment but I can't, I just don't have time. But I want you to know that I really appreciate all of those nice comments. After I posted for the first time, my wife and I had some arguments because she was trying to prevent me from showing affection to my son. She tried to persuade me to stop showing affection to my son because that's probably what turned him gay. I tried to just ignore her since I loved my wife and didn't want my princess to grow in a broken home, but the final straw was like 2 months after the post. My son, Liam, was in town, as usual, and told me that he wanted to bring his boyfriend to my house to watch a movie. And I was okay with it. I wasn't home at the time, but when I arrived Liam and my wife were arguing. She was even kicking him out. I tried to talk to both of them, but Liam just left and told me he'd never visit my house as long as my wife was there. I talked to my wife and she told me that Liam and his boyfriend were kissing, yeah, like effing normal couples do. And that it wasn't right because that's not how she was raised and that's why she found it disgusting, so I had enough and kicked her out and made it clear to her that my kids will always come first. She left like a week after the argument to stay with her parents. I tried to contact Liam but he wouldn't answer my calls, and I didn't know where he was. Then his boyfriend came to my house to let me know that Liam was with him and told me everything my wife said to them, all the slurs she called them, and also told him that he being gay is the reason why his mom abandoned him. Liam had many insecurities growing up because he didn't have his mom in his life up until he was 14, and to that point he hadn't even come out to her because he was afraid of rejection, so that hit him hard. I didn't confront her about this because she had already left the house and I didn't want more drama. I went to see my son. I gave my little boy a hug, a kiss, and apologized for letting it get to this point. He should have never felt vulnerable in his own house. Keep in mind that I posted around mid-July. We were okay like for 2 months after that. She left the house October 21st and we've separated ever since. We only talk about our daughter, who lives with me. We haven't divorced yet, so technically she is still my wife. Some men told me they are disgusted I picked my kids over my wife, but guys, come on, there are billions of women in this planet, but I only have 3 kids, there is only 3 of them, they are my life, my world, and I would never choose anyone over them. Someone in the previous post asked me how my son's mother took the news about him being gay, and she did great. It's not a problem for her, which makes me happy because my boy has a safe and loving family that will always have his back.